Hello everybody, it's DTK Productions, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we've got a Luka Doncic, but every miss is a -1 attribute. If we look at Luka, he's going to start off for us at a 96 overall, he's 23, and he's got 39 badges with an A+ potential. So I've got an idea of how we're going to do this. We're going to go through the first season just normally. He's going to miss as many shots as Luka would miss, and then I'm going to use those attribute points and subtract them from his attributes. And on the last video I did like this, I messed up the math by 1 on just about every single one, and you guys absolutely torched me in the comments. But I didn't realize I was doing that poorly at the math in that video, so we're going to try. We're going to try not to mess it up that bad today. So yeah, we're going to go through year number 1. We're just going to simulate normally, see what he does in year number 1 before we downgrade any of his attributes. Yeah, let's get straight to it. Alright, so minutes to the end of the season, Luka's going to win MVP in year number 1, 32.8, 10.4, 10.5 with 1.7 steals per game. Paolo's going to be your Rookie of the Year. Sixth man's going to go to K Love. Miles Turner wins Defensive Player, and Alperen Sengun wins Most Improved. Luka, of course, is also going to be an All-NBA first-teamer. He was also an All-Defensive second-teamer. All right, so before we get into the playoffs, we're going to start removing some of his attributes. He took 1,800 shots, and he only made 919, which is over 50% shooting, which is pretty good. But he missed 881 shots, which means we got to take 881 attributes away from him. So we have got a lot of attribute points we've got to take away, and I'm struggling to kind of pick out what we should remove from him first. I think we're going to start with interior defense and remove the attribute points from this. So we've taken away his interior defense. We took away 29 from that, which leaves us with 852 attribute points left to spend, and that's so many. We got to take away so many stats from Luka. So next we're going to take away 30 from his standing dunk to get it down to a 25. And we still have 822 attributes left. He's going to start losing attribute points a lot faster than I was anticipating at the beginning. So next I've decided we're going to take away all of his steal and all of his block. For steal, we're going to have to take away 49, which will leave us with 773 attribute points. And for his block, we're going to have to remove 31, which will leave us with 742 attribute points. We're going to take 51 away from his help defense IQ, and we're going to take away 46 from his pass perception. We're going to take 73 next away from his intangibles, which is going to leave us with 572 attribute points left to spend, and that dropped his overall drastically down to a 91. We're going to take 46 away from his strength. We're going to take 52 away from his vertical. I'm really running out of stats here to take away from, and we've still got 474 attribute points to take away from him. I want to leave his stamina up because I want him to still try and win awards. We're going to take some off of his defensive consistency. We're left with 432. And I think I just got to take away everything from his defense. Say goodbye to his perimeter defense. Lateral quickness, we're going to have to spend 50 points to get rid of all of that. I'm not sure how valuable hustle is, but we're going to take away 73 from that, which leaves us with 260 attribute points still. He's still up to an 88 overall because his offense is so good. So I want to try and leave his potential up because I am trying to see Luka succeed in this simulation, but we are losing stats at an extremely high rate. So I'm not sure if it's going to be helpful in the long run at all. I think his dunk is low enough to where I don't really have to worry about it too much if we get rid of it all. So we're going to remove all the attributes away from that. And we are left, if I use my handy calculator right here, with 209 stats left to take away. I don't think it's the end of the world if Luka doesn't have his post hook. So we're going to subtract all that away, and we've still got to take away 150 attributes away from Luka. All right, so now we're going to say goodbye to his offensive rebounding. We're going to subtract 42 from that. We've still got 108 stats left to take away from Luka, and a lot of his stats are down to 26 already. All right, so now I'm going to split up the last 108 points into 4, leaves us with 27, so we got to take this down to 72, but since the +1 was added on, it's going to be a 73. We're going to leave the pass where it's at, but pass IQ, we're going to drop down to the 72 mark. Pass vision, drop it down to a 72. And then lastly, we're going to bring down his ball control down to a 71 is where it should be with the booster. Luka Doncic has lost all of the attributes for all of his missed shots, and it brings him to an 84 overall already. And for the playoffs for this challenge, we're going to let Luka miss as many shots as he wants with no penalty. So his playoff stats this season will not affect him at all. We're going to simulate playoffs and see how Luka does. In the first round, He can't get out of it. He loses to the Timberwolves in 5. All right, so in player progression, Luka Doncic is sitting at an 86 overall, which is 2 overalls better than where we left him at last season. Again, for this year, I'm not going to mess with his overall during the season. I'm going to wait until the end of the season so we can see if he wins an MVP again or if he's already been destroyed too much to win that award. See if he can make the All-Star game and all that. So I'll see you guys at the All-Star break. All right, so we made it to the All-Star break, and the team is not doing good. 20-38. With Luka going down in overall a lot, the team has gotten a lot worse, which is to be expected. But for the MVP race, Luka Doncic is no longer on it. James Harden is in the lead. Luka's not in the top 5, and it wouldn't make sense for him to win any other awards because he's not a 6th man for us. And we removed all of his defensive stats, so defensive player just doesn't make any sense. And of course, he's not going to win most improved because he's gotten worse from last year. Luka Doncic is averaging 27.8, 7.5, and 7.5, and he's not an all-star. These are definitely all-star numbers, so 2K once again with the all-star snub. Luka Doncic, you'd think with how much 2K favorites him, he'd be an all-star, but apparently not in this simulation. Maybe it's because team success is down, the team's not doing so good. They're probably not going to do anything for the rest of this year. The playoffs are a long shot for him, but you never know. You know, maybe a play-in spot. They are 14th in the conference. They need to get up to 10th, and they're losing a lot of games, so it might be tough. There you go, a little win streak, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'll see you guys at the end of the season, and we're going to have to lower Luka's stats again. And MVP goes to Nikola Jokic, putting up 26, 11, and 10. Cecile Jefferson is your Rookie of the Year. Jeremy Grant, 6th man. Anthony Davis, DPOY. And Darius Garland is your Most Improved Player. Luka was not good enough to be on the All-NBA first team or second team, but he did make it to the All-NBA third team, so this year wasn't a total loss. These are his numbers. And he actually shot significantly better than last year. I shouldn't say significantly better, but he shot better from the field and 3% better from the 3 and 3% better from the free throw line. So he did shoot better. He also had less turnovers despite me lowering his pass IQ, his pass vision, his ball handle. And this year, Luka Doncic took less shots. He only took 1,527, but this year I think is going to be the year where he loses his all-NBA ability because we've got to go into his attributes and subtract 732 total attributes from him. I think this is where Luka's gonna see some serious drop-off. So a couple of the ones that have gone up from his potential being up, I'm going to go through and get rid of, like this one, -1. So I'm just going to go through and get rid of all those and tell you guys how many we have left when I'm done going through those. So after going through all the ones that we already brought down to a 25 last year and bringing them back down, we are left with 685 attribute points to remove from Luka, which might be the final straw for Luka's success as an NBA player. Since I'm pretty sure we're going to have to get rid of a lot of it, I think we just got to get rid of speed and acceleration right now because they're going to be gone anyway. So after removing those, we're left with 568 attribute points to get rid of, and I think it's time to say goodbye to his defensive rebound. We're left with 503 attribute points to get rid of, so offensive consistency is going to have to go. I think we're going to have to get rid of his potential to try and hold as many shooting attributes, if even possible. I'm not sure if it's possible yet. And it only let me drop it down to a 79 because I'm pretty sure it only lets you go as far down as the player is, so we're going to have to hold it at a 79 right now. Pass vision's going to have to drop all the way down to a 25, along with pass IQ. Along with hands is going to have to drop down to a 25. We're just really trying to hold on to his shooting stats right now. Speed with ball, we can drop down to a 25. We're left with 191 attributes left to take away. He's down to a 74 overall, so now I'm going to have to make him the starter manually, and we've still got some stuff to take away from him. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to go with yet. I want to keep his stamina up so he can keep playing in the games. I want to keep his shooting attributes up so he can keep on getting points. I could get rid of 5 more potential thanks to him being a lower overall, so now we've only got 186 attribute points left to take away, but I can't help but think we got to get rid of his passing. So that drops us all the way down to 112 attribute points left to spend on Luka. He's only a 71 overall now, and I want to keep his draw fouls so he can keep on getting to the line, just free points for us. I want to keep all of his shooting stuff, his shot IQ, so he doesn't keep on missing shots, so I think we got to get rid of ball handle. And that leaves us with 59 attribute points to remove from Luka, but again, we can get rid of another 6 actually. From that, leaves us with 53 attribute points. We're going to take 22 away from his post fade. It's going to drop it down to a 65. And we've got 31 attributes left, and we're going to throw it all into post control. This is what we're left with for Luka Doncic. He's a 68 overall. We're going to confirm our changes, and he drops down all the way down here. Is he this far? He's the worst player on the active roster that's not on a two-way contract for the Dallas Mavericks now. All right, so this is the lineup we're going to be running for year number 3. Luka, I'm going to be giving him 40 minutes a game. He's still going to be our shooter for us. 67 overall. We're going to let him go the whole season without getting docked any attribute points. But we're going to stop at the All-Star break and see how he's doing. All right, so we made it to the All-Star break in year number 3, and the team is just horrible. We're 13-46, but that's what happens when you have a 60 overall starting point guard for you. So quick look at the award races. MVP, he's not going to be on there, so he's not going to be in the running for any awards this season. And of course, for the All-Star game, we're not going to see him on this list either. And if we look at the stats, this is what we've got for him. Luka Doncic is averaging 25.7, so he's still doing the scoring that he needs to do. He's still getting 4 assists. He's only turning the ball over 2.2 times, but he's shooting the ball really well, 53.8% and 47% from 3. But the team is not going to make the playoffs anytime soon, so we're just going to simulate straight to the end of the regular season. And we made it to the end of season number 3. These are your awards. Darius Garland's going to go on to win your MVP. Gregor Purdue is going to win your Rookie of the Year, and he's actually our shooting guard for our team, so that's kind of neat to see. Markelle Fultz, 6th Man of the Year. Giannis DPOY, and Lewis Posey as your most improved player. Now, was Luka good enough to make an All-NBA team? No, he was not. So Luka's reign is probably already over at the age of 25. Let's simulate the playoffs, and then actually let's stop before we simulate the playoffs. Let's downgrade Luka before we get into all that. Luka this year took 1,428 shots, and he made 756 of them, which means he missed 672 shots this season. So let's start out with his stamina. We're just going to immediately subtract 74, bring his stamina down to a 25 overall. Next up, we're going to remove his shot IQ and his foul, which drops him down to a 62 overall. Post control now, we're going to have to remove all of that, along with post fade. Bye-bye free throws. No more layups for Luka. No more close shots. And we're also going to get rid of his mid-range. And after all that, we've got 96 attribute points left to get rid of. Let's go over to his potential and remove as much of that as we can. Now I'm going to go through and remove all the attributes that went up over the last season or two, so we can see how many left over we have to remove from his 3-point. And so we are left with 63 attribute points to remove, which means Luka's 3-point shot is going to be dropping quite a bit. So there we go. Luka Doncic, after 3 seasons of losing an attribute point after each miss, he's not a full 40 overall, the lowest possible overall you can go, but he's like 50 attribute points away from it. He's still got 37 badges, but I don't think we're going to have to remove any of those. We're just going to save this, confirm it. We're going to do one final season to see how well he can do despite being a 40 overall. My guess is the worst player in the NBA. So for the final year of this, we're going to mess around, give Luka 48 minutes a game. He's still got the high tendencies he had when he was a high overall, so we're going to see what happens. Game number 1, let's see. Luka Doncic went 3 for 16 in that game, so he's going to be losing a ton of attribute points this year. I think we're going to stop at around like a month into the season and fully tap out his attributes. So Luka Doncic is averaging 7.1 points per game a month into the season, 2.3 assists, and he's shooting 22%. He's not doing so great as a 40 overall right now. He's already missed over 150 shots, so I'm going to do what needs to be done. We're going to go to roster, we're going to go to quick edit, and we're going to go over to Luka Doncic. And we're just going to bring all of his attributes down as low as they can. And there we go. Luka is the lowest 40 overall you can possibly be right now. 25s across the board, except his stamina. He's got a little boost up to a 28 with a 40 overall potential. So we made it to the end of the season. Darius Garland puts up 37, 12, and 2.5. Goes on to win MVP. Brett Carney wins your Rookie of the Year. Markelle is your 6th man. Lewis Posey is your DPOY. And Stuart Clark is your most improved player. Luka Doncic, of course, is not going to find himself on any of these lists, but let's check how he did this season. And here he is. Luka Doncic started all 82 games. He averaged 6.1 and shot 20% on the season. And Luka at the age of 27 is probably retirement bound. His plus minus was minus 1,232 on the season. The team lost a lot of games. Yeah, the Dallas Mavericks right here were 12-70 this season with a 40 overall Luka being their starting point guard. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it. It feels good being back despite being still a little bit under the weather. We're still going to fight back, and we're going to grind through making a couple videos, and I'm happy to be back. If you guys want more of me, check me out on my other links. I got a Twitter and a Twitch in the description. And if you guys plan on using SeatGeek at all, I do have a code for SeatGeek in the description. I've had it in the past few videos. I just haven't really felt the need to promote it a little bit. But if you guys feel like using it, go for it. It'll save yourself a little bit of money, and you'd be helping me out a little bit as well. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.